Greetings, you're listening to the Cold Call Lawcast, the Minnesota Law School podcast featuring students from the University of Minnesota Law School, the University of St. Thomas School of Law, and the Mitchell-Hamline School of Law. Welcome everyone to the Cold Call Lawcast. I'm Mitch, a first-year law student at the University of St. Thomas School of Law, and with me are my co-hosts.
Hello, I'm Abby. I'm a 1L at the University of Minnesota Law School.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a 2L at the University of Minnesota Law School.
Hello, I'm Anthony. I'm a 2L at the Mitchell-Hamline School of Law.
Thanks, guys. And with us here today is Kate Averwater.
It's Averwater.
Averwater.
It happens to everyone. It's fine.
Averwater.
We didn't even discuss your pronunciation before going on the air.
Because it looks straightforward, right? You're like,
Yeah,
I got this.
I'm
It's
like,
Averwater.
Averwater.
And then I'm just like bubbling with rage.
Great way to start.
A 2L from the University of Minnesota Law School. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
And first off, we just want to start by saying you are very good friends with Hannah over here, right?
I don't know if I'd say very. No. No, Hannah's a good friend. Yeah, a very good friend.
And what class did you guys meet in?
Well, we were in the same section, so we had all of our classes together first year.
Oh,
That's
a
not
lot
too
of
much,
quality.
We
Hannah.
are so sorry.
No, it was good. It was a good time.
The right amount of Hannah.
Yeah. We had one break.
That seems like
in
too
spring.
much, Hannah.
There's no
Way
such
too much,
thing.
Hannah.
She did go to Germany for,
Specifically because
reason.
Hannah wouldn't be there.
That makes sense.
There we go.
She had to get out of the country to get away
But
from Hannah.
now that she's had a break, I'm sure she's ready to...
I'm signing up for more. Yeah.
Yay.
You guys have a class together too, right? This semester?
Well, if Hannah
Right?
rearranges her schedule,
Possibly?
but no.
Oh, maybe not at this point. But you never know where the chips are going to fall. Class hasn't started yet. We're a couple days out, so never know.
You came to law school at the University of Minnesota. Kind of what was your thought process of coming to the U of M? I guess first, why did you decide to go to law school? And then what was your decision for going to the U of M?
So I had pretty much zero intention of going to law school ever. And here we are. I was looking to do a PhD program in psychology after I graduated and worked for a few years. And I found in picking out those programs a JD PhD, a combined degree, and I was like, oh, this is what I want. There's like applications to between law and psych, and that it makes sense to study them together. And so I applied for that and did not get into it.
The PhD program?
The JD PhD, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was at Cornell, and spoilers, they didn't want me.
Sounds like you kind of dodged a bullet there, honestly. JD, PhD.
I mean,
Did you ever want to breathe again?
if I ever wanted to live for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
although it's more like 7 or 8. So I decided not to do the other PhD programs that I had applied for and interviewed for, and was settling into work for another year after that at Boston College. And it was kind of late in the game in May, and a friend pushed me to look at the U for law school, and I realized they had a bioethics concentration, which was really cool, and that was something I'd been interested in undergrad, and didn't realize that you could kind of do that in law school. And so I was like, well, sure, let's do this, and submitted for it, and it just all kind of lined up, and I said, I guess I'm going to go to law school.
What was your
Much to my
undergrad?
parents' dismay.
Yeah, where was your undergrad?
It was at Northeastern in Boston.
For
Psychology.
psychology.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do eventually? What's your dream career?
Well, it keeps shifting. Right now, I think I'm going to get out of law school and practice for a few years in law, but I think I still will do a grad degree in psych. I'm really interested in decision science and cognition, and kind of being able to combine law and decision science, and maybe it would have more crim law applications, but it's a moving target. So
Always is.
And so what have been your best and worst parts at the U of M so far? Obviously, worst being with Hannah and her classes, but what are some of your best?
Semester back.
one of the worst parts was probably the first semester thinking that literally everyone else knew what they were doing. Sitting there, during the orientation week, and I think we were in a writing class, and we started doing cold calls, and it was coming down the row, and all these people had these answers, and I'm like, I'm going to drop out. This is not the right place for me. And then you realize that actually no one had any clue what was going on. But at the time, you're just sitting there sweating and going, I got to get out of here. This is not right. And just like that general feeling of law school not being the right fit and those fears that you've made a terrible mistake, that's probably the worst part. I guess that's not specific to the U. It's more law school in general. But
Right.
And then the best part is obviously Hannah.
Yeah.
So
Take that, Mitch.
Why are you slipping her for $10 right now?
it was a 5.
Is it 20?
So what did you do your 2L for this last semester, fall 2018? What did you do over this semester?
I did a study abroad program in Germany. So I've been across the ocean for a few months.
Wow.
And where in Germany was this?
I was up in Hamburg in the north.
Okay, and was it a study abroad at a specific university?
Yeah, it was at Bucerius Law School. It's one of the private law schools in Germany.
So do you speak fluent German then?
Absolutely not. My German is very, very bad.
And what made you decide to study abroad in law school?
Well, I had wanted to do it as an undergrad, but I couldn't because I was on the rowing team and needed to be on campus pretty much every semester. So I couldn't go for like an extended period. And so then seeing that it was an option in law school and leaning into my theme of doing law school in a weird way, not necessarily meaning to be a lawyer, I said, sure, this is a good opportunity. I want to go. And it worked out.
Yeah, Kate made it kind of hard on herself because, so just newsflash for anyone listening, study abroad is a thing in law school.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. There, I believe, are like 7 or 8 programs that the U has sort of set up where you can apply, and it's kind of, they send, students every year,
it's a
pretty
partner
much.
program.
And
yeah.
they send professors even to some of the school, like to the school in Sweden. I think they send a professor
Uppsala,
every
yeah.
year. And most people do it the third year of law school, because the second year we have the writing requirement, which requires you to do moot court or journal. So Kate decided to take the extra hard route. And how does that work? Are you going to take that next year then? Do you have to do...
So you can defer your 2L writing requirement until your third year. That just means that you can't hold like an editor position at your journal if you wanted to do that. You just have to be on it as a 3L. It also means that, at least for the U, I was giving up OCI, which wasn't going to be a match for me anyway, so that was a really hard thing to say no to.
Yeah, right. Off-campus interviews.
Yeah, Abby, you will hear a lot about that soon.
In August, after your 1L year, is a whole slew of interviews from big law firms. You interview in August for jobs the following summer, so the summer after your 2L year. I didn't do it either because there's not really like a public interest focus to it. It's all the big law. They're the jobs that pay like 30 to 40K for the summer though. So people get excited about it.
And then my question is, do you take like the same classes while you're abroad that you would have if you were here, or does it switch up your schedule?
It changes your schedule a little bit. So it just meant that I was missing out on taking maybe more specialized classes here. Over there, I was taking international law classes, intro to German law, EU capital markets law, that sort of thing. And I wouldn't have taken those if I were here. I probably would have taken advanced admin law and done those kind of requirements if I were staying here. But it doesn't like hurt your credit count or anything. Those all transfer.
So do the 3 law schools in the Twin Cities have any kind of like joint study abroad like programs or something like that? Like if I wanted to study abroad, could I like apply for a U of M program?
I think you can go to St. Cloud, maybe, Anthony. They might make a special position for you, or maybe Morris, or
I don't know
maybe
if I want to go
There
to
might be a very small
to
town in the middle of the
Mitch's-
desert.
to Mitch's school.
I know
But I don't know the answer to your actual question.
I know
come back,
for
Hannah.
I know for St. Thomas, I think if you go online, they have a couple programs. I think there's an ABA like specialized study abroads where it's more. There's numerous different law schools that join it, not just from Minnesota, but from all over the states.
You might find that, the U has a bunch of partner programs at certain universities that they place students, but there's also the option that if you go out and find this amazing law school in the middle of wherever and you want to do an exchange with them, you just probably have a lot more paperwork and issues to work through, but I'd imagine you'd be able to swing it if your school will allow it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they kind of want you to have a reason to go to that place, but they are flexible like that. We had, and he's still gone, but one of the other classmates is in France for the year. He's doing the whole year abroad.
Wow.
And I think he'll graduate with an LLM.
That's his plan, yeah.
Yeah, like he'll get an LLM during his 2L year in France, and then he'll come back here and finish his JD.
Would it be an LLM from the university in France?
Yeah.
Or did he
Yes.
get it
Yeah.
through? Okay.
From, I think it's Lyon is where he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's in Lyon.
So what would an LLM be equivalent to a United States degree?
An LLM.
It's
Or
just,
I guess I don't
it's
know
just
too
a
much about it.
traditional.
Still just a master's of law.
Just a
Yeah.
master's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not up to the level of Juris Doctor yet.
No, because it's not a terminal degree the way a JD is.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, tells you how much I know.
Yeah, no, that is always a confusing question though. Kate, you seem to know because I have wondered a little bit because you kind of assume coming in that the LLM students seems like they're mostly international, but students from the US also do LLMs.
They do. I don't know how beneficial it is for you. It might just depend on what area of law you want to practice and what market you're in. I don't know that much about it. My understanding is that usually it's more beneficial for international students who would like to practice in some capacity in the U.S. or have a higher degree when they go back to their home jurisdiction. But that's kind of all I know about it.
I've looked into it a little bit. It's also if people want to like teach a specific law, like if you want to teach constitutional law or become like a specialized in con law, you could go get an LLM from a university that might specialize in that area.
Without having to do the whole JD.
No, you have to have your JD. It's like a JD, and then you get your LLM as well.
Oh, you get
Well, I thought. See,
both.
I feel like that you get the LLM when you go through the JD program because it's like not quite to a JD, but obviously by doing the JD program, you're going through the same hoops as an LLM.
In the U.S., it's usually the LLM is after you get your JD. Like international
Oh, I didn't
students
know
have to
that.
have a law degree, and then they come here and they get their LLM so that they can practice in the United
like
States.
a law degree in their own country.
Which
Yes,
might not
a law
actually
degree
be
in
a
their
JD.
own right.
Yeah.
See, because
exactly.
when I was looking at schools in New Zealand, I had to complete my LLM and then do a couple more classes or another year to get their law degree there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would get an LL. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's primarily designed. Yeah, it's like typically a 1-year program for foreign students.
Yep. Yeah, that's the traditional LLM,
Okay.
and there's only there's a lot of schools that still have it where you can from the U.S. you can also get an LLM, but like basically if you're international, getting an LLM
That's a route that you would go
is
first.
how you get into becoming an attorney within the United States or practicing law within the United States.
So it's more
Yeah.
common for just people to go straight for their JD in the United States. if
Yeah,
they're
because you can
citizens.
because you can already practice law in the U.S. just fine. Yeah, but for the international students, they come get their LLM, which is only 1 year, and then they can start practicing law because they already have their foreign law degree.
Yeah, and for a lot of other countries, the way they do law school is it might be 5 years or something, but it's more of an undergrad degree. It's usually a Bachelor of Laws,
Yep.
which is what a lot of the students at Butte Sirius were, like the German students. You can get grad degrees in that too, but so you would come here with your LLB or your Bachelor's of Law from your home country and then get your LLM here.
Right. Yeah, my friend from China did that. Like she has a 4-year undergrad, and now she's in the JD program here. So she got like a law undergrad degree in China, and now she's like.
So an LLB in China came to the United States, got an LLM, and then now she has to go to a JD program?
She's not doing the LLM. She's just going straight to JD
She's
because you
got
don't
an
have to
undergrad.
do the LLM if you
Right.
have like that law degree. At least it's very.
Yeah, I know.
We should
a
probably
lot of
get like a
letters.
dean or someone to talk about this that actually knows.
We
what
had
they're
a
talking
dean
about.
on here. Why didn't we ask him?
Not thinking ahead.
Because at St. Thomas we have an LLM for U.S. students that's specific in ethics and compliance.
And
So
did
if
you
you
want
want-
to do that?
What? No, but you could get you could get your LLM in the U.S. in ethics and compliance. So it's very specialized to get it
okay.
in that area if you want to go in the compliance route.
Fascinating.
Makes sense? Everybody got that?
Super clear.
I stopped
Crystal.
listening.
I'm tuned out.
And so
Sorry, did you have
No.
a good question? I was just going to ask
Do you
another
have a bad question?
I have a really bad question,
What's
so
your-
go ahead, Hannah, with your very good question.
Just going to say, so tell us generally